Sometimes what feels like a painful delay is actually a divine pause, a moment when heaven intentionally stretches time for your protection. You might be looking at your life wondering why certain doors haven't opened yet, why prayers seem unanswered, or why progress feels slower than everyone else. But in truth, this is God's mercy at work. Time isn't against you, it's being held in your favor. Just like a master conductor delays a note for perfect harmony, heaven delays your movement until your spirit and surroundings are fully aligned. You're not behind, you're being fine-tuned for a symphony greater than your understanding. Every chosen one goes through a sacred holding period. Think of Joseph in the prison before the palace, or great innovators who spent years in obscurity before changing the world. That waiting room isn't punishment, it's preparation. Your spirit is being refined, your faith being strengthened, and your future being built behind the scenes. In the stillness, heaven is rearranging everything that needs to meet you in divine timing. So don't despise the pause. This extension of time is your cocoon of transformation. Ask yourself, what if this delay is the very thing ensuring your destiny unfolds without error? Chosen one, grace often wears the disguise of delay. You see, if God gave you what you prayed for too soon, it might have crushed you instead of blessed you. The extension of time is divine compassion in action. It's God whispering, "You're not ready yet, but I'll keep it safe for you until you are." How many times have you looked back and thanked God for unanswered prayers, realizing later that what didn't happen was mercy protecting your purpose? That's what's happening now. You are being shielded by divine grace, not denied by divine silence. When heaven extends your time, it's because the soil around your blessing isn't yet fertile enough. You can't plant greatness on unstable ground. God is maturing your patience, your discernment, and your spirit so that when you finally rise, you'll be unshakable. Don't compare your pace to others. Your timing is sacred. What's delayed for you would have been destroyed if rushed. So pause, breathe, and realign. This is not a setback, it's strategy. Right now, while you're waiting, something invisible is moving in your favor. Heaven doesn't sleep. It builds in silence. The reason you feel disconnected is because your timeline is being rewritten for your protection. People may have left, opportunities may have closed, and plans may have failed, but all that collapse was construction in disguise. God is building a new foundation that your old life couldn't sustain. What you lost was temporary scaffolding. What's coming is permanent destiny. Behind every divine delay, there's hidden labor. Angels are being assigned, doors are being recalibrated, and hearts that were once against you are being softened in your absence. Heaven doesn't just move fast, it moves precisely. And precision requires patience. When the time is extended, it means the masterpiece isn't finished yet. You wouldn't pull a cake from the oven halfway baked. Likewise, heaven won't release you before your purpose is ready. Chosen one of the greatest mistakes is trying to rush divine timing. Many have fallen by taking what was meant to be theirs, but too soon. When you try to accelerate God's process, you end up carrying the weight without the wisdom. You begin to chase results instead of revelation. The danger of forcing time is that you trade divine order for temporary satisfaction. You might achieve something early, but it won't sustain you because the foundation wasn't built by heaven's hands. Think of a fruit plucked before ripening. It looks complete, but it's bitter inside. That's what happens when we rush the process. God is not slow, He's deliberate. Every delay is a correction, every pause a calibration. He's ensuring that when you walk through the door, you'll have the strength to stay there. Sometimes you don't need a breakthrough, you need more preparation. There's a reason heaven is buying you more time. Chosen one, it's alignment. Not everything and everyone meant for your next season is ready yet. God isn't just working on you. He's working on the people, places, and provisions attached to your promise. Imagine launching a rocket before the ground crew is in place. It would be disaster. The delay ensures your entire universe aligns perfectly. Timing isn't just about when. It's about who and what are synchronized around you. You're being repositioned. People you lost may return differently. Opportunities that seemed gone may reappear with divine clarity. Every piece of the puzzle is being moved into place. So while it looks like nothing's happening, alignment is taking place in the unseen. You're not waiting aimlessly, you're being strategically positioned for impact. When you're caught in the middle of what was and what's coming, it can feel like life is standing still. But this in-between, this space of waiting, is covered in mercy. God isn't punishing you by extending your time. He's protecting you from premature exposure. You're not being delayed, you're being developed. Every season of stillness is heaven's way of equipping your heart for the next elevation. In this pause, you're learning patience, humility, and endurance, the very qualities that will sustain you when success comes. You see, if everything came too soon, you might not appreciate the magnitude of what you're being entrusted with. Mercy holds you in place until your character matches your calling. It's in the middle where faith matures and vision clarifies. That's why so many chosen ones experience long periods of silence before breakthrough. It's a divine reset for the soul. The waiting builds wisdom. The pause builds power. So if life feels slower right now, embrace it. Heaven's mercy is molding your future behind the veil of time. The extension is not a delay, it's divine refinement. Chosen one, what you don't see is the spiritual warfare surrounding your timeline. Every major destiny faces interference, and that's why God sometimes extends your time to fortify your foundation. There are forces that try to derail your purpose, but heaven steps in and slows things down so that you aren't caught unprepared. It's not a coincidence when plans stall. It's protection. The delay ensures that the enemy's traps are exposed before you step forward. You're not waiting for nothing. You're waiting for victory to be secured in realms you can't see. Angels are working tirelessly to clear the path ahead of you. When time bends, it's because heaven is holding it in place until the spiritual conditions align with divine will. This is why discernment is crucial in this season. You can't afford to mistake warfare for failure. Your timeline is sacred ground, and heaven guards it with precision. The delay, though uncomfortable, is proof that heaven is active in your defense. The waiting is warfare disguised as stillness. You've prayed, fasted, and waited, yet heaven feels quiet. But what if that silence is the loudest response of all? God's silence doesn't mean he's absent. It means he's operating beyond your understanding. When time is extended and answers seem hidden, it's because revelation is unfolding layer by layer. Silence is where spiritual maturity is tested. It's where you learn to trust God without needing daily confirmation. In this sacred quiet, your spirit begins to hear what your ears cannot. Heaven teaches you to walk by faith, not by evidence. Many miss the blessing of this stage because they confuse quietness with neglect, but the truth is, you are being fine-tuned. The Creator is preparing your spirit to recognize His voice in any season. This silence is sacred training for greater authority. So don't rush to fill the silence. Let it refine you. Time is extended so you can strengthen your ability to stand without constant reassurance. Before every revelation, there's a period of preparation, a sacred time when heaven works behind the curtain. You might feel forgotten, but in reality, you're being fine-tuned for divine unveiling. God doesn't reveal what isn't ready. That's why time slows down when you're about to step into something great. It's as if heaven says, "Wait, we're not done perfecting this vessel yet." Your spiritual muscles are being stretched, your vision sharpened, and your soul purified for the weight of what's to come. Look at every great story. Before manifestation came meditation, and before elevation came endurance. The most powerful transformations happen away from the spotlight. When God hides you, it's because He's preparing the stage for your grand arrival. You're not invisible, you're incubating. The longer the wait, the greater the impact. So remain steady. When the revelation finally comes, you'll realize the delay was the very thing that prepared you for destiny. Chosen one, God uses time like a sculptor uses fire to refine, not to destroy. The extension of your season is heaven's way of burning away impatience, pride, and fear. The delay forces you to face yourself, to confront what still needs healing, and to surrender control. Without this refining process, you might step into your promise carrying the weight of your past. That's why time feels heavy, because it's shaping you from the inside out. The fire of waiting exposes what's fragile and strengthens what's eternal. It purifies your motives so that when you receive your blessing, it won't corrupt you. You begin to understand that divine timing isn't just about events aligning. It's about your heart being ready to carry heaven's glory without collapsing under its pressure. The waiting season is a spiritual furnace, and you are emerging as gold. Endure the heat. What feels like delay is heaven sculpting the masterpiece called you. Chosen one, when time stretches longer than expected, it often means your destiny is being rearranged for a higher purpose. You might have thought your story was heading one way, but heaven has rewritten the script. Sometimes God extends your time not because you're behind, but because He's moving you from a good destiny to a divine one. What was once your dream may no longer serve the person you're becoming. Heaven's rearrangement is not rejection, it's redirection. This process is rarely comfortable. It may look like lost people walking away, doors closing, plans crumbling. But underneath it all, heaven is repositioning your life like a chessboard, moving every piece to protect your victory. The longer route is often the safer one. You're not being punished by the process, you're being protected by it. Every change, every delay, every unexpected detour is a coded message from heaven saying, "This way leads to destiny." When the rearrangement ends, what will stand before you will make sense of every tear you cried and every season that tested your patience. You begged for it to happen, didn't you? You cried, fasted, prayed, and still heaven said no. At first, that silence hurt, but with time you began to see it wasn't rejection, it was redirection. When God extends your time, it's often because He's blocking something that would have broken you. The unanswered prayers were never evidence of abandonment. They were proof of divine foresight. Heaven saw what you couldn't, the hidden dangers, the emotional traps, the premature victories that would have come with unbearable burdens. Many chosen ones confuse blocked paths with divine punishment, but they're really signs of divine care. A closed door isn't always the enemy. Sometimes it's your shield. When God keeps something from you, it's because He has already seen your ending and He's protecting your peace before you even step into the storm. The waiting is mercy. The redirection is love. So if something you wanted still hasn't come, trust that the delay is a form of divine protection, not punishment. Every masterpiece requires a moment of stillness before it's revealed. The same applies to your destiny. The quiet season you're in right now, that long pause where nothing seems to move, is heaven's finishing touch. Before a king is crowned, there's a moment where the room falls silent. Before lightning strikes, there's a still hush in the sky. This stillness isn't stagnation, it's suspense before revelation. In the silence, the Creator completes the final strokes of your preparation. You may not see it, but your name is being whispered in rooms you've never entered. Your spirit is being refined to handle the blessings that would have once overwhelmed you. The quiet is not a void, it's divine tension before manifestation. The world is about to see what heaven has been shaping in the dark. When the silence breaks, it won't just be a small shift, it will be your unveiling. All that waiting will prove it was never wasted. Faith isn't proven when everything moves quickly, it's proven when you can wait without losing heart. When time stretches beyond your expectations, it's not because God forgot about you. It's because your endurance is being tested and strengthened. The chosen ones are often placed in seasons where nothing seems to change, precisely because God is testing whether their faith can outlast their frustration. You are being stretched beyond comfort so that your trust can deepen beyond sight. During this test, emotions may rise: fear, doubt, impatience, but they are all being refined. Every moment you choose to stay faithful despite not understanding the timing, you are declaring to heaven, "I trust you more than I trust my timeline." That is the essence of true faith, believing when there's no visible proof, hopping when there's no evidence, standing when everything tells you to quit. So if your prayers feel unanswered, stand firm. The delay isn't disapproval, it's the final exam before manifestation. Chosen one, what if the delay is actually working in reverse, flipping everything in your favor while it appears nothing is happening. You see, when time is extended, God often uses that extra space to reverse what was meant for your harm. Every attempt to block your progress becomes the very fuel that accelerates it later. Heaven collects what was used against you and transforms it into divine compensation. The extension of time is the gathering of your restoration. Sometimes the reason you're still waiting is that your blessing is being rebuilt from the ashes of what was stolen. God is not only preparing your next step, He's repairing what the past tried to destroy. The longer it takes, the greater the recovery. This isn't stagnation, it's restoration in motion. By the time your season unfolds, you'll realize that every delay was stacking blessings in your favor. So be still in this moment. What's forming for you now will rewrite your story entirely when heaven declares, "It's time." Chosen one, waiting matures you in ways instant results never could. It humbles your pride, strengthens your patience, and teaches you how to trust the unseen. In a world obsessed with speed, God slows you down on purpose. He allows you to experience stillness so that your faith is no longer conditional. Waiting reveals your heart. It exposes whether you truly trust the giver or only the gifts. Many people want blessings without the burden of preparation, but heaven refuses to hand you something your soul isn't strong enough to hold. Through the delay, you learn to discern between what's urgent and what's eternal. You stop chasing temporary validation and begin building unshakable endurance. This season is shaping your inner world more than your outer one. The longer you wait, the more deeply your roots grow, anchoring your destiny against future storms. It's not punishment, it's divine maturity. So while time feels heavy, remember, what's forming in you now is wisdom, not weariness. Heaven slows you down only to make you last longer. Sometimes the most powerful changes happen quietly, inside your heart, your habits, and your thoughts. That's why God extends time, to allow unseen growth to mature before public manifestation. You might not see visible results right now, but your spirit is expanding in ways that will soon be undeniable. Just as seeds grow in silence beneath the soil, your transformation is unfolding beneath the surface. In this invisible phase, heaven is establishing your foundation. If you could see the spiritual muscles being formed within you, the resilience, the clarity, the compassion, you would understand why rushing the process would ruin the outcome. You're not stuck, you're being rooted. Every day of waiting deepens your strength. When the appointed time arrives, what blooms will shock those who thought nothing was happening. The delay has purpose. Heaven is growing something within you that will be too powerful to hide when the unveiling comes. Chosen one, sometimes time must be extended because the glory attached to your destiny is heavier than you realize. The greater the calling, the greater the preparation required. You're not walking an ordinary path, your purpose carries eternal significance. That's why God slows you down. He's ensuring that your spirit can handle the weight of what's about to rest on your shoulders. If this came too soon, it would crush you instead of crown you. Think of a bridge before it carries heavy loads. Its foundation must be tested, stretched, and reinforced. You are that bridge. Every test, every delay, every moment of uncertainty is heaven strengthening your structure. When the promise finally arrives, you'll stand tall under its glory, not bend beneath it. The waiting season is your spiritual training ground, not to weaken you, but to make you indestructible. So don't despise the wait. It's not meant to break you, it's molding you into someone who can carry greatness without losing grace. It may feel like everything has slowed down, but the truth is, you're being positioned for acceleration. Heaven stretches time before major movement because what's coming next will happen quickly. This extension isn't to delay you, it's to synchronize divine timing with perfect momentum. Just as a bow must be pulled back before the arrow can soar, God has pulled you into stillness so that your next move will shoot further than you ever imagined. There's a rhythm in divine timing that doesn't operate on human clocks. Heaven isn't behind schedule. It's aligning everything for a sudden surge. When acceleration begins, doors will open faster than you can process, and everything that once felt stagnant will rush into divine motion. That's why this quiet season is sacred. It's the gathering of energy before the breakthrough. Soon, what took years will unfold in moments. The slowdown was never failure. It was the loading phase of your destiny. Chosen one, this extension of time is a sacred gift. Heaven didn't delay you, it preserved you. You've been granted a divine extension not to wait idly, but to prepare intentionally. Every day of this extra time is heaven saying, I'm giving you one more chance to align your purpose, refine your vision, and strengthen your faith. Don't waste it worrying about what hasn't happened. Invest it in becoming the person ready to handle what's about to happen. Use this window to forgive, to heal, to rebuild, and to refocus. The next season won't be gentle. It will be glorious. When the appointed time arrives, there will be no room for hesitation, only divine execution. So take this moment seriously. Heaven has slowed the rhythm of your life so you can catch your breath before the acceleration begins. This is grace disguised as stillness. Family of Anointed Era, if this message spoke to your heart, don't let it fade, carry it with you. Time isn't your enemy, it's your greatest ally when used with purpose. You are being refined, not rejected. Every delay has divine intention behind it. Heaven has extended your time so that you can walk into your destiny with clarity, power, and grace. If you felt the truth in these words, take a moment right now, like this video, subscribe to Anointed Era, and share this message with someone who needs hope during their waiting season. You never know whose life might shift because you shared light. Your delay is divine. Your story is still unfolding, and soon heaven's timing will reveal why you had to wait.